Yo, what's going on guys? This is Snakebeater back with a brand new video. Today guys, I'm going to be giving you advanced look controls for intermediate players. If you do enjoy this video, make sure you hit the like button, comment down below, and please subscribe your notifications on. That way you never miss an upload. Trying to push towards 1k subs before the end of the year, so any support really does help. Recently, well, just before this video is uploaded, we are just about to hit 600 subs, so all the support so far has been amazing, so I really do appreciate it. But let's get into this video. So if you are brand new to advanced look controls, okay, I'm going to be giving you all the settings today. I'm going to be explaining them, and I'm going to give you the recommended settings. So if you are like an intermediate player and you want higher settings and whatnot, then this is definitely the video for you. If you are brand new to them, beginner and whatnot, I do have a beginner video which I'll leave a link to it in the description, and I also do have a video on the best way to learn a new advanced look control settings, which I did last week. I'll leave that also in the description in the outro. So if you do need help just learning your sensitivity and whatnot, then those are going to be definitely the videos to help you. Or if you want to check out a beginner's version of the advanced look controls, then that will definitely help. But if you're an intermediate player, then this is the reason why you clicked on this video. So what I'm going to be doing is I'll explaining everything. So what I'm going to do, go to settings, and then if you have not seen since the update, they kind of have screwed up. Advanced look controls is hidden just below here. You can only just work out. So you're going to tap onto there and it'll take you onto the advanced look controls. Now I'm going to just get rid of my socials off the screen. Okay, so I'm going to go through and explain every single setting. Now, when I go through these settings, the settings that I give you, you do not have to copy exactly. If you practice with these and then you turn around and go, actually, I want to make my yawn speed a little bit lower, that is completely fine, okay? Work to what feels good for you. There is no harm in changing. These are more just like guidelines of what I feel like you will like. And then if you do want to change it, then change it. And I say I'll explain exactly what it does. A lot of videos, they do not explain it. I will explain exactly what the setting does. That way you know what you are changing, whether you should turn it up or down, and vice versa. So first of all, obviously make sure you got your custom look controls on. There's no point in having it off, or you will not be able to carry on with this video. Dead zone. Dead zone is basically is stick drift. Okay, so if you have an older controller, you might want to have this higher. It basically means when you're stood still, it keeps your sticks still. Okay, they're not just going to walk off and have a mind of their own. I have mine on 8. I do actually have a fairly new controller. I don't actually particularly need it higher. I could have it literally off completely, but it does help in situations, especially as my controller is going to start getting older. It will stop me from having my stick drift off into its mind of its own. Yeah, so I prefer having that on that. But if you do have a slightly older controller, you might want it slightly higher. Outer threshold. Now this one, it's very similar to response curve. As you see, they literally recommend 2. Okay, you see it actually changes the response curve. Personally, I would have it on 1%. Now, I don't have an exact explanation for this, apart from saying it's very similar to response curve. Nobody has an explanation for what this does. I don't feel like you need anything on it though. It doesn't make a huge difference. I've tried it with 1%, I've tried it with 2%. There is not a difference. So just have it on 1%. Do not worry about it. Now, response curve. Okay, so response curve, I'll give you the exact definition, not this malarkey. Okay, so the response curve is the speed at which the game registers movement of your reticle in response to when you move the thumbstick and how long you keep it in that position. Higher feels dull, lower can feel twitch. Now, we've got it on 20, okay? Now, the reason why we've got it on 20 is because my yawn speed and my pitch speed are quite high. So when I'm looking around like this without looking down my scope, it's quite pretty fast, okay? Now, the response curve, when I'm looking around, will slow down when I go brush past the target. So if I'm brushing past the target, it will slow it down, and I'll feel that, and I'll be, wait a second, there's an enemy there, and then I can lock onto it a lot easier. Okay, if you have it lower, it won't lock on as easy. Now, some people might be like, actually, I want it a little bit lower because I'm locking onto a target that I don't want to be locking on as much. So that's completely fine. But I have it on, say, 20. So that way, when I am looking around, I'm like, oh, where's the enemy? Where's the enemy? And it will lock on a lot easier onto that enemy. Next up, we've got the per optic settings. Do not worry about this one. You can have it on. You can change them. But nobody can tell you that by changing your 4 times to a higher sensitivity, you're going to be a better player. It's all down to personal preference. I wouldn't even bother. Yawn speed is how quickly you move left to right on the analog sticks without looking down the sight. So basically when we're looking left to right like this. Okay, super useful, because when we're looking, say, if to look around for enemies, we want to be able to turn around quickly, assess the situation, make sure we are safe all around. Okay, this is one of the main reasons I turned it up, is because I want to be able to respond quicker, especially if someone's behind me and whatnot, or I hear shooting. I want to be able to turn around fast and move to it quickly. So that is why we've got that one on that speed. Pitch speed is how quickly we look up and down. Okay, now this one I've got it up at 200. Okay, so mainly once again when we're looking up and down, not looking down the scope. Now this does have a little bit of help with the recoil when you are doing hip fire, because obviously pulling down, that is your reticle. Okay, so that is your recoil pattern. Okay. If we have that too high, it will obviously drag down a lot more, meaning we're more likely to miss shots. So we have got it turned up slightly, but the reason for that is obviously I need it more to look up and down and make sure I'm assessing situations to make sure I'm safe. Okay, but as you can see, it's very easy to control when spraying and hip fire. Next up, turning extra yawn. Okay, so turning extra yawn helps when you're doing 360s and whatnot. So say if I'm stood here, it's basically when we get the analog stick all the way to the end, helps spin ourselves around a lot quicker. So if I was running around and I was like, oh, I need to quickly spin around, double check the situation, it makes it a lot easier to spin around. Okay, next up, turning extra pitch. We do not have any extra on this because I don't think there's many situations of where we're going to need it higher, because once again, this would affect the recoil if we had this higher. So I do not have any turning extra pitch on. If you want to have a little bit on, you can, but just bear in mind, obviously, if you're turning it all the way down, so when you bring it all the way down to the full extent, when you get it to the, let's say for example, I'm shooting and I aim all the way down, it's going to speed up quicker when I'm looking down. Yeah, so there's no point having it on because it will affect your recoil. Oh, I have that off. Turning ramp up time. Okay, so turning up ramp up time. This one is when your sticks are to the edges, how quickly it'll reach full speed. So we do not have any delay or any time on it. There's no point having anything on it, because if I was trying to do a 360, I was trying to do that turnaround, I don't want to have a delay. Okay, I want to be able to react instantly. So if you have that, you have it on to the turning extra pitch on, the turning ramp up time on, you're not going to be able to reach the full extent of your extra yawn and whatnot quickly enough. Okay, so have that card turned off completely. And then we also have turning ramp up delay. So when the sticks are at the edges, how much delay until extra yawn or extra pitch is applied. So we don't have any extra pitch anyway, so we don't have to worry about that, but it's more for the turning extra yawn. So obviously that's on 180. We want that to react instantly when I do go to that full extent. So obviously I can hit that 360s and whatnot if I need to. But yeah, don't have any delay on it. There's no point. It will not work as well. You want to react instantly. Now, ADS yawn speed is how quickly we look left to right when looking down the scope. So when we look down the scope, how quickly we move left to right. Okay. Now, you will probably have noticed that it's slightly lower. Okay, compared to my yawn speed over here, which is on 280, I have halved it. Okay, now I've not cut them all straight in half and whatnot. I've done to what it feels best, but 140 is perfect for ADS yawn speed. So I don't want to have it too high, because when I'm looking down the scope, okay, I don't want to lose track of my enemy. Like, they're not going to move around that far. They're going to strafe, okay, but we all know for a fact, if I'm using my left stick as well, I will be able to keep track of them easily, yeah? They're not going to dart off too far away. Okay, so you want to be able to keep track of where they're moving. If you have that too high, you're going to struggle. But obviously, if someone darts off, then I'll just come off of my ADS and I'll just go back into hip fire. Okay, it's not a case of having it stupidly high will help, because you'll just end up spinning off to the side. You want to have it in a situation where you are be able to control it. Okay, so when you look down it and then you're controlled. controlled. Then we've got on the ADS pitch speed. Now this one does control your recoil. So if we have this too high, when we are looking down the scope and we're controlling the recoil, okay, if you have it too high, when you are doing that, okay, it's just going to pull all the way down, and then you're going to end up shooting their feet or the ground. We do want it slightly higher than what they recommend, because it helps when we are just, say, ADSing, looking down the scope, say if someone drops off a cliff and whatnot, or maybe someone, you know, jumps up and we're trying to keep track of them. We have it a little bit higher, but we don't want it too high where it affects the recoil too much. I still want to be in control of my recoil, which is why it is on 95, okay? We must make sure we keep that on there. ADS turning extra yawn, we've got that on 50%, okay? Now, this one obviously helps you turn all the way around if you're doing like a 180 or whatnot. Now, we got it slightly higher, so 50, so that when we are looking down a scope, if, for example, someone is really running away, I can hold it down and I'll be able to catch them up a little bit better, but still maintaining that control. If I have that too high, then I might end up over-tracking it, and then I won't be able to keep hold of them. You got to remember, apart from sliding, running is not that fast, so you should be able to keep track of it with that speed. Next up, we got the ADS turning extra pitch. So once again, that's how quick you look up and down to the full extent. We've got this on 40, so it's a little bit more, but then again, once again, this will kick in when you're looking up and you're trying to keep track of someone who's on like a balloon or something like that. Because obviously balloon goes a little bit higher, maybe someone falling down a cliff. But you have to hold this down all the way to the bottom. So this will not affect your recoil, okay? Now, if you were to have it too high, there's a chance it might affect your recoil a little bit. Because if you're having to shoot downwards on somebody and then the gun's kicking up and whatnot, it will probably end up flicking up a little bit lower than it should be. So only have it on 40. 40 is a good way to, it increases the speed when you need it in certain situations, but not too much that it's going to throw off your shots. Because once again, ADS is looking down the scope. We're not trying to lose track of our enemy. We're trying to keep control of where they are and hit our shots. Right. ADS turning ramp up time. So we got this on 70%. They recommend 4%. Now I've gone for 70 because I want a slight delay. So this is when the sticks out of the edges, how quickly it will get to full speed. So once again, if I was looking down the scope and I wanted to go off to the left, for it to kick up into full speed, it needs to wait for until 70%, and then it will kick in, it will go a little bit faster. Okay, so if I am really struggling to keep track of someone and I hold it in that position, eventually it will kick up the speed a little bit, and then I will be able to hit it. But you'll probably realize that it doesn't really kick in too much, because when you're keeping track of someone, if you're landing your shots, your analog stick's not at the full extent. So it takes quite a lot to be at your full extent. And that's more a case of if you're still trying to track someone and you're missing your shots, then it will help you catch up with them. If you've got it too high, then you're not going to catch up with them as quick. And then we've got the ADS turning ramp up delay. So when the sticks are at the edges, when aiming down, how long it will take before extra yawn or pitch is applied. We have this on 0. We do not want any delay. As soon as we want it kicking in, we want it kicking in ASAP, okay? I don't know why the delay even exists, but they do recommend you have it on. I guess it is a case of if you flick your stick, they don't want you to zoom off into high speed and whatnot, but I guarantee this is not going to be an issue, and we've obviously got time on anyway, so it's not going to be a biggie. And then last but not least, here we go for the target compensation. This is your aim assist. Do not take this off. Keep this on. And then we've got the melee. Keep this on. Once again, it's a case of you've got to make sure that this is on, so it makes it a lot easier for your life when you're trying to punch somebody. Apart from that, that is everything, okay? I really hope those settings help you, make you a better player. I will go just scroll through them one more time. So you got 8% on the dead zone, out of threshold 1%, response curve 20, yawn speed 280, pitch speed 200, turning extra yawn 180, 0, 0, 0 on all the turning extra ones. ADS 140 yawn speed, ADS pitch speed 95, ADS turning extra yawn 50, ADS turning extra pitch 40, ADS turning ramp up time 70%, ADS turning up ramp up delay 0%, target compensation on, and a melee compensation on. All of those settings should help you out a lot. As I say, this is the intermediate players, so that way you're used to the faster pace and whatnot, okay? And then when you go down that scope, boom, lock in a lot quicker, and it makes it a lot easier. I really hope these settings help. As I say, if you do enjoy, make sure you hit the like button, comment down below, and please subscribe, your notifications on. If this video does help you, please whack a comment, because it really does help. But yeah, apart from that, guys, I hope you've enjoyed. I'm going to shut up, and I'll see you all in the next video.